I made myself a promise. I will tell about it. I will never refuse to answer a question. This is my nature, open and giving. I inherited my nature from my mother, Esther. She was so generous and good-hearted. We lived in the city of Lodz in Poland when the war broke out on September the 1st, 1939. The Germans moved with such an organized force that by September the 8th they had occupied Lodz. That December, my brother and I tried to cross into Russia from Warsaw, but we never got there. While we were in Warsaw, we heard that the Germans were making a ghetto, and in April 1940 we returned to Lodz. I didn't want to leave my mother and sisters without a man in the house. That same month, the Germans made a ghetto with barbed wire fencing in the most dilapidated part of the city. They moved all the Jews still living in Lodz into the ghetto. We moved in with some cousins who were already living in that part of town. They had a 2-bedroom apartment on the 6th floor. They lived in one bedroom, and my family of 7 people lived in the other room, which was about 6 feet by 12 feet. We were allowed to bring only a single load from our home to our new apartment. In the winter of 1939-40, the pipes froze. For the entire time that we lived in the ghetto, we had no running water and no toilets. We walked down 6 flights of steps to use the outhouse in the courtyard. For 4.5 years we were locked away from the world. Anyone with a radio was shot on the spot. We didn't know about Auschwitz. We didn't know what's happening in the world. The Germans made animals out of us. We were always hungry. We lost interest in everything except food. Each of us was given an 8-day bread ration. I was always hungry and finished my ration of bread by the 4th or 5th day. Then I would gather greens from the field, and my mother would cook them like spinach. My older brother, Shmulek, was very careful with his ration. Each day he ate 1/8 of this ration. He died of starvation on D-Day, June the 6th, 1944. Lodz was the longest-lasting ghetto, liquidated last because it was producing goods for the Germans. Everyone had to work. Who didn't work didn't live. Factories were set up in the ghetto. I made toys for German children. There were no Jewish children left. They had taken them all away. My brother-in-law Henrik was the first one to be taken. In March of 1942, my sister Henya and my nephew Sebek were taken. My sister Fela was sent to a labor camp in March of 1944. In August of 1944, my mother, my sister Hannah, and I were part of a roundup. The Nazis were liquidating the ghetto. At first we hid and then thought better of it. We were transported to Auschwitz by kettle car. We arrived in the middle of the night to bright lights, and the capos were screaming at us. Raus, raus, out, out. They separated me from my mother and my sister. The last time I saw my mother, she pressed her piece of bread into my hand. She had saved it the entire train ride from Lodz. Take it, she said. You'll need it. I made myself a promise. Whatever happened, happened. Don't let the past ruin the future.